I didn't understand that I was inflamed, and I was very inflamed.
Erin, how did you find carnivore?
By total accident. I didn't even know about it. I was actually sitting on the couch with my 4-month old, taking care of her and watching some YouTube. And I usually watch like homesteading channels. And there was this guy. He said he was going to do the carnivore diet. And I was like, carnivore? Are you going to like have a heart attack in front of your family? Should I, should I subscribe to you? So I did. And I was kind of making fun of it the whole episode. And my phone picked up on it. So I get Dr. Barry with his finger how to start the carnivore diet. And I'm like, okay, if I'm going to make fun of it, I better figure out what is this carnivore diet. So I might as well watch it. And I started watching a lot of Dr. Barry videos. And then I'm like, so basically, he's telling me I don't have to exercise. And at this time, I'm like 250 pounds. My baby's about 4 to 5 months old. And she's the last of 10. I have 10 kids. My oldest is 18. My youngest is 2. And I've just been up and down gaining weight my whole life, losing weight. Kind of felt like I was the biggest one in my family. I have 7 brothers and a sister myself. So I'm the shortest and always the whitest. So that's what I felt like. And anyway, I'm watching Dr. Barry and I'm like, okay, so 250 pounds. And he's telling me I could lose like maybe 30 pounds within the first month. Game on. And I got a notebook out and paper and pencil, and I haven't done this in forever. And I'm like writing down all the tips and everything, trying to make sure I have a list of what I need to start carnivore. And this was February 2023. And I decided since the next month was going to be Lent, for Lent, I would just give up carbohydrates and sugars and all that. And I would just, go carnivore. And I did. And the first day was kind of weird. A long time ago, I did used to smoke cigarettes and I quit. And I know that like the weird quitting addiction feeling, I had that weird wave hit me a few times and I'm like, why am I feeling like this? It never really hit me that it's like carbohydrates, like my body going, where are the carbs? It was crazy. And then like a few days later, I wake up, I get out of bed, and my knees don't hurt. Now, my knees have hurt forever. As a youth, I used to skateboard a lot and just do a lot of crazy stuff and stunts. And I just thought, with age, my knees are gonna go sometime. But no, I get up and I can like do a squat to the ground and back up. And I was feeling really good. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? Okay. I had my husband go buy a scale because I gave up weighing myself. I decided, like, I guess we're just gonna be fat people, but apparently I'm not anymore, and I had to get a scale just to, like, every week I was weighing, and I'm like, kids, I just lost 2 pounds. Just lost 4 pounds. It was like really fun. And then I think it was like a few days after my knees felt really good. I've always had lower back pain with almost all of my kids had epidurals. And one of the things that they tell you about the epidural is that you could have chronic back pain. And you're always like, yeah, right. At the time, I'm in super pain. I'll just do an epidural. So I always had like this chronic lower back pain, and I've always lived with it because I just figured, that's what I've got. And I wake up and it's gone. It's just totally gone. And I'm feeling really good, like really good. And I remember telling my second oldest daughter, I was like, hey, I'm feeling really good. And isn't it kind of bizarre that all I had to do was eat meat and I'm not eating anything else? And I'm feeling like really good. And I was like, I don't know how to tell this to people and she was like, huh, it's kind of weird, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, it is. And I don't know what to do about that. But this is kind of funny. So a few months later, my parents are having their 40th anniversary, and I we go up to that, which is in Ohio, because I moved from Ohio to Tennessee back in 2018 to do homesteading, and that's why I have the channel. It was going to be a homesteading channel, but then I kind of like lost interest, didn't want to do it anymore, and I just didn't go from there. But anyway, we go to my parents, and I'm like feeling really good. I dropped like 30 pounds. I'm wondering if anybody noticed. But usually after I have a baby, I drop 30 pounds. and I'd usually stay around 200 pounds. So that my mom didn't really notice much, but my sister-in-law, she saw me before I lost the weight. She was like, "What have you been doing?" And I was like, "Oh, just this thing called the carnivore diet." And she was like, "Your brother's been doing the carnivore diet." And I was like, "What?" Because I wanted to tell him about carnivore. I used to like love drinking beer, like a little bit at night, not during pregnancy or not like when I was nursing or anything like that. It was just like, you know, maybe 2 to 3 a night to help me fall asleep or whatever. And I noticed that when I did carnivore, I didn't want a beer ever because I was full and I wasn't hungry for it. So, or wanting to drink it. And I stopped drinking. And I wanted to tell him about it because he's a Iraq War veteran, and he likes to drink a lot. He likes to drink beer. But I was like, are you sure he's doing carnivore? Because to me it sounds low carb, and he's not eating enough. Because I feel like if you're eating enough, you're gonna be too full to want to drink beer because beer fills you up. And she was like, "Oh yeah, but he's doing it too." And then I run into my aunt and uncle from New York that came as a surprise, and they were like, "We've been doing carnivore." And I was like, "Why everybody's doing carnivore? This is gonna be my thing." And my aunt, she had to retire. She was a school teacher and she had to retire because she had a stroke. And they were looking up things to do that wouldn't be like taking a lot of pills and stuff. And they found keto. She did keto. And then she went carnivore. And she had like the left side of her face was numb and she couldn't like move her arm very well. And she's like, "Look what I'm doing," and smiling and stuff. And I'm like, "That is amazing." And she was telling me about all these other carnivore people to watch on YouTube. And I'm like, "Okay, well, when I go back, I'll probably find them and watch them." Because what I noticed during that summer when I got back home and everything, I needed like maybe a boost of inspiration from people or just, community. That's what I wanted. And I started like looking for more carnivores online. Kind of like stopped following homesteaders because I'm not a good homesteader. I try to garden. You'll see my chickens and stuff in in my show, but I'm not the best. And I'm like, you know what? What's so cool and crazy about carnivore is if I was ever really bad at gardening or had to farm, I would just do sheep and beef cattle and stuff, or just cows in general, because it's so much easier than trying to like get this little seed to grow in the ground and just to like feed yourself. And I'm like, man, the chicken eggs are great. And that was another thing why I really want carnivore was that I have chickens and tons of eggs, and we love eating eggs. And I'm like, I always have eggs, so if I run out of meat, I've got eggs. And I had to like make it kind of easy for me. And then at the end of summer, I lost 50 pounds on carnivore, so I was at 200 pounds. It took I don't like I've been at 230 pounds for probably the past 6 years. And I got down to 200 when I was pregnant with my seventh kid because I started the post office before I became pregnant with him because I wanted to lose weight. And I heard you could lose 40 pounds by walking all the time. And I was like, well, I'd like to get paid to lose weight instead of actually, lose the weight on my own. I'd rather get paid. And I lost 40 pounds and it was awesome. And I was down to 200 there. And I had gestational diabetes with a lot of my children, and with him I didn't have any. And it was because I was walking a lot. But I was in so much pain. I remember like I almost had like sciatica like pain. I had to go to the doctor. They were talking about giving me a cortisol shot in my back. And I wish I knew about carnivore then because that would have been awesome. But I didn't. And I'm glad I know about it now though, because like I got on I got on YouTube because I had the channel and I was like, well, I better show people. So I showed pictures of me. I did a little YouTube short. I think that's when they started doing their shorts in the beginning and they were getting kind of big. And I did one about me just losing 50 pounds on carnivore. And I had somebody contacted me JT from Poco Moonshine Family, and I contacted him back and I was like, well, let's do an interview. Awesome. So my channel only had like 12 subscribers at the time, and I've actually been doing this for a little over a year now. And I'm like, I got a lot of subscribers now, not like a ton, but like more than 12, and all I had to do was eat meat. No, like I was always such an introvert type person. I didn't think that I'd like do stuff on the internet, or just like I'd rather be inside in my house, just happy and content, reading books in my room, playing music. But no, that's not who I am, because around that time, 6 months into carnivore, after I lost 50 pounds, I noticed I wasn't as forgetful. I used to be so forgetful, and I guess like that's when I started watching like Homestead How and Carrie's channel, because they were talking. He was talking about brain fog, and I'm like, what is this brain fog you talk of? Because I guess I had it, and I was like, and it used to be so bad when I was a kid. I thought, like, we used to make fun of it, like, oh, there goes my dementia again. I can't remember why I walked into this room, and now I'm just like, oh, I came here to get a pen. Like, it's so crazy.
It's amazing. You don't realize you've got it until you're out of it, right?
Yeah, and I don't even know how I survived like 39 years, like 38 years of my life, because I started it 2 years ago. I don't know how I survived. I'm like, how are people like living right now? Because I am living now, and it is awesome. And I couldn't, I couldn't believe that. I was like, oh, so it's called brain fog. I've had that my whole life. And then I've also noticed like a lot of things that like my teeth, brushing my teeth. I used to bleed all the time. I had bleeding gums, and I didn't know why, because I would floss all the time and everything. I thought it would make my gums stronger, but no. And I noticed on carnivore I don't have that problem. I had cavities reverse. Like, it's so awesome. And I was like, man, if I could have started all my kids carnivore when they were real little, it would have been so awesome. No dentist. And
Ye
the younger ones that are with me all the time, they love having eggs and bacon for breakfast, and for lunch, I just do burger patties for them. They'll ask for it too, because that's what I do. With the other ones, I tried. It was kind of funny. We decided to do like a month of carnivore, and everything was like meat, pork rinds, they had cheese, they had all the cheese sticks and everything. And my 17-year-old was like, there's no food in the house. All we have is steak and hamburger. And she left. She went to live with her friends for that month. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to rethink the kids to get them on. But we're trying. I'm trying to do like for them really low carb. I'm trying to meat heavy as much as possible. I'm always like that anyway now, because I know it's really, really good for you. And I would love everybody to wake up and feel just as good. And I don't, I like carnivore. It's awesome.
so
So
I think I mean, the thing that strikes me most about your story is just, like, in such a short amount of time, the knee pain and the back pain just going. I mean, that's life-changing, right?
it is. And I didn't think that would ever happen. Like, I didn't get it. I guess I didn't get any of the carnivore stuff that I was watching from Dr. Berry, when they tell you that it's anti-inflammatory. And I'm like, anti-inflammatory, anti-inflammatory. I didn't understand that I was inflamed, and I was very inflamed. It was a lot of inflammation, because I would never eat a lot either. Like, even when I look back, I've never like was really into eating cookies or sugary stuff or anything like that. I've always had to cut it out for pregnancies because of gestational diabetes. And I would exercise and do all the things, and I'd still be like, I was, my brain was inflamed, everything was inflamed. So, I mean, it's just so awesome that something so simple, you just eat meat and drink water and you feel better. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you describe it really well there, because it's just like it's something that it should be so obvious, but it's like one of these things when you're reading a book and you're going, "Oh, who did it?" In this mystery, who did it? And you get to the end and you go, "Oh, it was staring me in the face all the time."
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, to get to this point, how have you been eating day to day?
Well, lately for like the past 2 weeks, I tried to do the lion diet, and my first week was hellish because I stopped drinking coffee and tea. And my tea was always just a peppermint tea. It was just not caffeinated. I didn't do that, but the losing the coffee was horrible. And I would just eat burger patties with butter. Is how I did lion diet, and drink water, hot water too. And I did it. It was awesome. Second week, I did the same thing, and it I need more magnesium in my diet apparently because I didn't have enough. And so I just added back in my eggs, which I usually eat eggs and bacon for breakfast. If I do feel like I want lunch, I'll eat some burger patties. And for dinner, if I have steak, I'll eat a steak. I've been doing 3 meals. I'm trying to do three because I did two mad. I can't do them mad. I tried. I can't. If I gotta cook for the kids and everything, I'm just gonna be like, ooh, a piece of cheese or a piece of meat. So I don't want to be like snacking. So I have to make sure that I'm full. Once I'm full, I can do whatever I want, and I can cook for them. If they want something totally different that's not like spaghetti or something, then I can make that for them, and I don't even care. Like I don't care at all anyway because it's not food. I'm like, you sure you guys just don't want meatballs? I'm always like that with them. But I usually
Yeah.
just like I incorporate almost all the meats, whatever's on sale basically. And when I just scored like these huge tubes of ground beef and I've been living off of them. So I'm good. I'm good there.
Nice. So, like, you when you went to visit your family, like, you found out all, "Oh, wow, there's so many people doing carnivore that I didn't know." Um, what about, like, your circle of friends? Do you get any feedback from them? Is anyone like, "Wow, you look amazing. What's happened?"
Not really. I kind of push it a little bit though. Like I'll use the Facebook and stuff to just like I'll show some of my reels that I make. There was one I did and it was like eat meat, and it was showing me how I transformed because I had so many pictures. I was like, I better take pictures because I'm not gonna know if I change at all unless I have these pictures. And just been getting like a lot of likes and thumbs up and stuff and way to go. I actually friends down because we moved. I haven't really made many friends down here, but the people that I have made friends with, they've actually done carnivore too, but they couldn't stick to it because carbohydrates are, I guess, for some people, they're really hard. They're addictive. They're really hard to break. I didn't think I had like a really bad carbohydrate addiction because I didn't really eat that stuff. I didn't like it as much, but one of my kids made something and she was like, try this cookie, please, please, please. I made it all clean. I made it clean. I'm like, okay, okay, fine, I'll take it. One bite. And then I was like, I want all of them. And I was like, I can't do this. I got to walk away because that was something I never had that happen to me. Like, I used to make fun of my mom for like having like a bag of Reese's in her bed. I was like, what are you doing? Like, but she was like, sometimes you like carbs a lot. And my mom, she's a really beautiful, thin, wonderful lady, but she sometimes just loves her carbohydrates and she does carnivore off and on with me sometimes. She'll just be like, I want to do it. And then she'll tell me how much better she feels. And then when she eats something totally off carnivore, how horrible and how arthritis-y. And she also has sciatica too, and her pain will come back. And I'm like, Mom, it's the diet. You gotta do the diet. And she's like, well, we all can't be saints like you. And I'm like, I'm no saint. I'm just eating stuff that makes me feel good because I don't like feeling like if I do something off plan, my back will hurt again. So I don't want to do that. And that's what keeps me straight. Like I don't want to like try other things because I will just have pain the next day. And I know if something's cooked in seed oils or something because the next day my back will hurt or my knees will hurt, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But oh, I guess I have a radar now. Pain dar.
The other thing about, like, you feel bad, so that kinda keeps you on the straight and narrow, but also the worry is, as you mentioned before, like, if you start eating the wrong thing, then, for most people, probably like me as well, you just like it's this cycle you get back into, and then it's hard to break back out again, right?
Yeah. It's kind of dangerous actually. So you can walk away. Get away from it. It's hard stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been a smoker, I've been a drinker, a very heavy drinker, and it's like those things were easier to give up than carbs. And
Yeah.
that's kind of scary.
Really scary. It
Mm,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so you had one of your kids said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna live with a friend for a while to get to for the food," Um, but everyone kind of gets it. They go, "You're looking better, you're feeling better, we're very happy for you, and we support you in that regard." Yeah?
Yeah. My husband
Mm.
actually, he was a big Dr. Pepper drinker, and he absolutely loves his sugary stuff. And he's given it up. And so far, I think he's lost about 50 pounds. He's done low carb because he'll do cheat days. And he only does cheat days like on the weekends with like when he's around me. And I'm like, why are you eating this stuff? You don't want to hear it. You're gonna hear it from me. And he always feels bad too. Like right after he eats, he's like, I don't understand why I don't feel good or I'm so sluggish. And I'm like, it's the food. Just eat the meat. And he's also, I've noticed when he does cheat days too now, he's kind of like not eating his French fries anymore, and he's like not eating the bread patty tops and stuff to his burger patties, just in the middle. Because I think he's realizing that's what's making you hurt, and that's okay. Because it's good to go slow anyway. I jumped right in. I think I didn't care. And also at the time, like when I jumped right in, I didn't have a lot of problems like everybody was talking about. Like I was like, am I doing carnivore right? I'm not even getting the diarrhea. And then I was watching some show and some lady was like, if you start carnivore and you're having all these big issues, drink some strong black tea. And I was like, oh, I started to think about it. And I was like, I drank black tea in the beginning without even knowing about it. That helped me break my carb addiction or helped me with the keto flu. And I thought that was really neat. And I didn't even know. I just did it naturally because I was drinking unsweet tea.
Nice. If a friend came to you and said, "Okay, look, Erin, you're looking good. I wanna lose a bit of weight. I wanna get rid of some of the joint pain that I have. Tell me what I need to do." What advice would you give them?
You need to start going low carb and drop all the bread, sugar, anything that's like has carbohydrates. You got to drop it. Because this question is happening with my oldest daughter. And she's starting to be like, hey, and it's kind of funny too because she was vegan for a while, and you're like, please don't go vegan. It's not good for you. And she was like, you guys don't know anything. And we're like, okay. And I got her to like, for me doing carnivore, I got her to, she's eating chicken now. And I was like, she's like, well, I can't do the ones with the bones. And I was like, well, how about chicken thighs? And just eat more of it because the more meat you eat, there's no carbohydrates on it. So you won't gain weight from it. And so that's what's helped her. And she's starting to do it and she's doing great. She has, cheese with it and stuff as well, but she's just go. I think if you wanted to start carnivore, maybe instead of jumping in like I did, maybe go a little slower and just do all the meats, do all the cheeses, do sloppy carnivore with like my cheat for carnivore is pork rinds and sour cream. That's my cheat day. I'll be like, where's the pork rinds? But like that's good stuff to help you on your transition because it's something crunchy. It'll help. Just do things that'll keep you full. Like just eating meat won't fill you up. Make sure it's fatty. Make sure you add butter. And it was weird too in the beginning. I was like, I hate the taste of butter. And now I'm just like, am I becoming a butter muncher? I'll just like get a stick of butter. I'm just like, it's time to eat the butter. But it happens. And if you're really wanting to do it, And I think it's good to do 30 days of carnivore anyway, just to see how you'd react, how, if anything, make you feel better. And that's how Dr. Berry hooks everybody. He goes, do 30 days, and you're just like, man, I'm feeling really good after 30. I might as well do 30 more. And I'm feeling really good, and I'm like month 21 almost. So, and I'm down like
Yeah.
84 pounds. I lost 84 pounds on carnivore so far.
84. That's awesome.
I know, it is. And you know what? I didn't exercise. I'm lazy. I mean,
Mm.
after cleaning up after kids and stuff all day, like, do I really want to start exercising? But what's really funny is that in September I decided to do 50 burpees a day for 30 days, and I did them, and I completed my challenge. I probably made muscles some places, but I kind of didn't do it the next month because I hurt my arm, my shoulder. So I kind of been like not exercising again, and I'm still at the same weight, and I'm not gaining. I may lose a little bit, but that's about it. And I don't care. I mean, it became me wanting to lose weight into me feeling so good that I want everybody to feel this way. And I don't know how to like scream it or shout it from the rooftops loud enough that all you need to do is eat me. You'll feel good.
Right. It often starts that way for people. It's like, I want to lose weight. And
Mhm.
then everything else improves so much, like the joint pain and that kind of thing. And it's like, I don't care so much about the weight anymore. I'm just happy because I feel so good, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I wish more people would just try it because they'd really like it. And man, once my brain just like wasn't inflamed anymore, I was just like, man, I've got so much energy. What am I gonna do now? And I started trying to do pull-ups. I can't do them yet, but I can get myself to lift like about that high. But I do it every day because I decided to put like the stupid pull-up bar right by something I walk by all the time, like a doorway that I always there. So you might as well try.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the burpees that you did, 50 a day. I can't do one a day, let alone 50.
I was just like, I'm gonna do it. My first day of doing it, it's kind of really funny. I only did like 20, and I was like, these are really hard. And I decided to record it. I made a movie for YouTube, and I was like, I might as well. Maybe it'll inspire somebody who's really out of shape to try. And I even turned it into like a little shorts, a little
Ah,
30 second.
nice. So on that point, how can we find you on YouTube?
Um, my handle's Booby Goats. My channel's named after we had when we moved to Tennessee. It's family land. It's my husband's family, and they let everything overgrow. So we got goats. And my 3-year-old at the time, who loved to sing, we were out there playing with the goats, and she was watching her baby brother, and I heard her sing Booby Goats," and I was like, I need a name for my YouTube channel, and that is it. So my YouTube channel is Booby Goats. If you ever click on any of my shorts or shows, there should be like a thing to my Instagram, possibly. I always link that, but I think it's Erin Booby Goats at I don't know how Instagram works, but I'm on there too. I just upload shorts, um, and yeah, I on my channel on YouTube now. I will do carnivore stuff, but you'll also see me like taking care of my chickens. And then I was like, what else carnivore can I do? So I did a video about me just like eating a chuck steak because chuck steaks are awesome and I absolutely love them and they're cheap. And then I was like, I like to sit in front of the camera eating food. So what can I do next? And I knew that I needed to add in like sardines into my diet just for iodine and magnesium and all the good things sardines give you. And I know they're kind of weird. And I had to Google how to eat sardines and if it was okay to eat the bones. But yes, you can. And so now I am like trying to find all these different types of canned fish, and I will try them on my show as well. And that seems to be a little bit popular, me eating fish.
So it's like the carnivore mukbanger.
Yeah, basically. I wanted to. There's this like really great barbecue joint in Tennessee that I just want to sit at with some buddies and just destroy. a bunch of meat.
Yeah, I've thought about doing that kind of thing because there's
Why
barbecue
not?
restaurants here that'd be cool, yeah.
I like to eat meat. I don't know. I've got to get
Nice.
over the part about just like hitting record when I'm out and about. I'm not used
Yeah.
to that yet. I'll just I'm better at my home or just in places because I wanted to do because we had Costco and I wanted to go to Costco and be like, what I would buy at Costco and like I panned out all the meat and be like, I'm not buying this because it's super expensive. I like to go cheap. So on Sundays at this other store that's near my town I go to, and they always have like great discounts on all their meat, and I'm just like always buying it up because that's how like I started to actually shop better being carnivore too, so I could just get tons of meat all the time. And it just, maybe with the brain inflammation going down and healing, I'm just like, oh yeah, it's way cheaper just to go get the discount meats and throw them in the freezer. And that's what I've been doing. Just to,
That's interesting that you talk about that 'cause, like, I find that the brain fog clearing and that kind of thing, but also having the blood sugar kind of flat all the time, it helps you think more clearly, make better decisions, I think, and, you're less likely to do those impulse things like, "Oh, just buy that sweet thing," or whatever, you know?
yeah, it was like once my hormones decided to balance, I was like, this is awesome. I need to tell everybody about this. I'm still not sure how to, but this might work.
Yeah. Well, I'll link to your channel and your Instagram in the show notes. Erin, thank you very much for coming on and sharing your story. I really appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you, Dave. And thanks for just interviewing so many people because I absolutely love your interviews. I watch them like almost all the time.